let me see if I understand this one. You're into the person, but you don't want to let them know that you're into them, or you want them to know that you're into them, but you don't want them to get the impression that you're so into them that somehow you assume that they're going to take that and abuse it. So by you not giving them what you should be giving them, you kind of just sprinkle in a hug here, a hug there, a smile here, a smile there, a back rub here, a back rub there, and you I'm not understanding it. So you give them less, they give you the more, the less you give them, the more. That's so you're. I'm supposed to just be like, oh shit, whoa, well, let me go ahead and go into my bank account and pull out $5,000 and just take you to the most expensive restaurants and carriage rides around the city and get you in the helicopter because you gave me less because you think that I'm just less. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And that's essentially what's being said is that because men really what she's not saying, but what the subtext is saying is that men are so emotionally insecure that if you pull away, they're gonna be running after you like a puppy dog. And because of that, women have control in the relationship. Well, yeah, I can see for some men, for the ones that really have no business being in a relationship in the first place, sure, that's a thing. The men that deserve a relationship, the ones that have their stuff together, won't be the ones that dote you because you've given them less, hoping that you'll give them more. That's not how it works. Men are not out there looking to pay for women's affection, which is essentially what this woman is saying. And what does that say about women? If that is the mentality, if it's completely um, transactional, what does that say about women? What does that say about relationships in general? What does that say about trust? Because this is essentially where the argument goes. Women pull back, which means that they hold the transactional authority. So men have to give more for a transaction in order to get more. This for that. It's called quid pro quo. And even in business, quid pro quo is considered sleazy, manipulative, and self serving. So we're going to apply that to relationships now? If it doesn't belong in business, it definitely doesn't belong in relationships. Relationships are like business, but with more at stake. Because now you've got vulnerability and trust on the line in every interaction that you have. Which is why it is imperative that people act above board in their relationships, because the idea of vulnerability is very fragile. It's the best way that I've heard it described is giving someone a knife so that they have the capacity to cut you, but they choose not to because they know it's going to damage not only you, but also them. So until we get back to that idea of trust and vulnerability are the things that are most sanctified, we're screwed.
Most of it stems from low self-esteem, being out of pocket, not in purpose, not going to the gym, not having goals set for yourself, not having a spiritual relationship with the creator, no direction whatsoever. When you don't have no direction, you're susceptible to fall for any and everything that comes your direction. You're pretty much drifting wood on the ocean, kind of just being tossed from one place to the next. You don't really have nothing stable to latch on to.
So the best equivalent to a simp for a woman is a pick me.
There it is. There it is.
Sensational.
Which is crazy though, because in my honest opinion, I don't even think that word fits them for real. Um, so let me hear me out. Now, if you're saying that she's a pick me because she's overly exacerbating her desire to have someone, and she's pretty much just doing the most insincerely, and there's I can understand what you're saying, but for the most part, every time I hear that word, it's usually when I hear a woman speaking based, and she's really just being honest, like she's telling you, as a woman, I don't agree with the stupid shit that you just said 15 seconds ago on this TikTok or this short. I don't agree with starving my man to death. If he wants me to cook, it's okay for us to cook. It's okay for us to want to dress up and feel sexy, and no, we're not supposed to show our body all over social media. That to me is not the negative connotation of a pick me. I think they use that word to kind of make them feel bad for being on our side for real, for real. Like if you agree with us, then you're against them. That's usually what I get from that word. But I can see where you're going with it as far as like the whole pick me thing. But what type of, so let me ask you this then. What type of woman that is categorized to be that definition for you? Not the one that I'm referring to where they're getting shamed for it. I'm talking about the ones where they're literally going overboard with it.
Right. So this would be the kind of woman who excessively seeks male validation, often at the expense of other women by downplaying her own needs or aligning herself with what she thinks in order to align herself with what the man wants. That's a pick me. Yep.
Disrespect, clown, them same ones had them on a yacht. What were they doing? They wasn't They wasn't doing nothing with them dudes. They were just there for eye candy, and it was just like, yeah. I've learned a lot about them over the last 2 years alone, bro. I don't even watch them no more. It's that bad because you can say they do help in some areas, but as far as like you can't be, I have a thing with someone who is you're like this. You're not like I need this, but if you're like I can't because I don't know like where you really stand. The man